Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's take you to developments around Madlanga. Witness F has finally taken the stand at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry from a remote location 2 hours after he was initially scheduled. Proceedings began at 9:30 this morning, but were delayed by arguments from the witness's attorney, Hartley Ngoato, who for the second time stated that his client was not ready to appear before the commission. Ngoato had advised the commission that his client had filed an urgent High Court interdict and was therefore requesting another postponement. But Inquiry Chairperson Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga overruled the request, allowing the testimony to proceed under some strict conditions, with the understanding that the evidence leader will only confine himself to certain questions.
The following order is made. 1. The application for a postponement is refused. 2. The evidence leaders are granted leave to present as evidence the WhatsApp chats that relate to witness F and, when necessary, to comment on them. 3. Witness F is ordered to remain at the remote location from which he is supposed to testify until he is excused by the commission. That's the order. Having so ordered, we cannot allow witness F to get a free ride in the face of the provisions of Section 6 of the Commissions Act and Regulation 8.1, both of which create an offence for refusing to answer questions at the Commission. So, Mr. Shaskalsin, we direct you to put no less than 4 questions to witness F. Depending on his answers, he may expose himself to a possible criminal charge under Section 6 and Regulation 8.1. Also, my reference to at least 4 questions does not mean that if we, the commissioners, or anybody participating in these proceedings, or in future for that matter, may not put questions to witness F.
Right, let's get an update from our reporter, Kani Mapanga, who's been following and monitoring the testimony at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Kani, a very good afternoon to you. A lot of back and forth there as we listened very carefully to Madlanga overrule some of the proposals put forward by Witness F's legal team. And one of them, of course, was trying to restrain the commission from exhibiting WhatsApp messages from Witness F, which now show that there was some sort of link between himself and controversial businessman Kat Matlala, Vusmusi Kat Matlala, as well as the Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibia.
Indeed, good afternoon to you, Paul, and to the viewers at home. It was quite an eventful morning as we saw the lawyers on behalf of Witness F, who is a key witness in terms of the alleged cartel members, Katiso Katie Molefe and Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, attempt to move for a postponement yet again before the commission, citing that he fears he may incriminate himself, and also putting forth that he had put together a High Court application for an interim interdict that would be heard on the 4th of February and didn't want to say anything before the commission that could incriminate himself or further jeopardize any other investigations that are currently taking place against him. However, that application was not successful, and it's clear that the commission did not want to set a kind of precedent where implicated persons could come to the commission, postpone, refuse to answer questions, and state to the commission that they actually can't go forth with the evidence that they have in relation to the work that they do. And if we look at the complaint by the lawyers, it's not so much about the CCTV footage, because how we know about this witness is through the Phase 1 evidence of Lieutenant General Dumsani Kumalo, where he showed us that CCTV of that particular individual heading to the home of alleged cartel member Katisa Katie Molefe, staying for a few minutes and then leaving with a bag. Now, we don't know what the contents of that bag was, but we know what is implied through that particular evidence evidence, but it seems what he may have been running away from are these WhatsApp exchanges that show a very clear picture and are very relevant to the work of this commission in terms of establishing the extent of this alleged infiltration by criminal syndicates in the criminal justice system. We're already seeing, although we started late, that there are significant messages there, rather, that give us several revelations regarding the kind of alleged influence or infiltration that these particular alleged cartel members, that is Katiso Katie Molefe and Vusimuzi Kat Madlanga, may have enjoyed within the high-ranking SAP space. And what we're seeing through at least two instances is that already the chief evidence leader, Advocate Matthew Charleston, SC, has been able to show through those WhatsApp exchanges that there was this purchase allegedly for Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya of those Impalas that were to be delivered to him. And it seems, although Witness F is denying this, that Witness F would have been the go-between between the communications between Madlanga and Sibiya regarding this particular, I guess, transaction or alleged transaction that would have been taking place between the pair, and that it confirms the messages that were revealed in the interactions between Bam Mokhotsi and Vusimuzi Kat Madlanga, that there was Impalas that were allegedly bought for Sibiya by Madlanga. And then, of course, the second message about whether or not there was a message from the late former Deputy President, David Mabuza, to this individual that is Witness F regarding a firearm. Now, he denies that he was in conversation with the late Deputy President, attributing those text messages to his nephew. However, he struggles to explain why, if he was speaking to Spiwe, the nephew of the late Deputy President, as he states in his testimony, why he chose to save his number as the President Didi Mabuza, or Deputy President rather, in his phone. We'll get more context about that after the lunch adjournment, as they've just started with that evidence which shows there was communications, and we'll see to what end those communications reveal in terms of the terms of reference and whether it is relevant to the work of this particular commission. All that and more at 2 p.m.
Right, Kenny, before we let you go, what we also heard were some audio messages being played at the commission. Talk to us a little bit about those voices we heard.
Yes, indeed. Those were the audios that deal directly with the purchase of the Impala. It seems that a voice note was forwarded from Madlanga to Witness F, and then Witness F forwarded it to General Sibiya. And that was a particular farmer who was stating that the Impalas could be delivered. All he needed was a pin and a location. And that pin and location allegedly shows, or rather reveals, the address of General Sibiya. We then see that although this took place in March 2024, that in August the following year, that is after Mkwanazi's July media briefing, that this particular witness, Witness F, sends that message again. And the proposition being made by Advocate Matthew Charleston is that he sent this message to Sibiya to remind him of what information he had in light of the allegations that were coming out, and that he was not going to allegedly take the fall for what was coming out in the media briefing of Mkwanazi. And I think that is the proposition that Witness F is rejecting, but we'll see over the course of the few days that this witness testifies what exactly the probing questions that are now actually important, not limited to the 4 questions anymore, because the Commission doesn't want to set that dangerous precedent for other witnesses coming forward. But now that they can ask questions quite freely, and according to the Commission's Act, he is obligated to answer, he can't leave anything out, we'll expect that more information will be revealed about that particular voice note and how it forms those linkages to the Deputy National Commissioner, that is Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, who is also alleged to have some form of a close association with these alleged cartel members.
Very well. Thank you very much for that update. Speaking there to SABC News reporter Kenny Mapanga, following on the developments of the testimony given by Witness F at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which is set to resume at around 2 o'clock this afternoon.